back to day 2 of Vlogmas. One of the biggest requests that I often get is what goes into content creation, what goes into the process. And so I thought for day 2, it would be fun to share a little bit of that process with you today. As I mentioned in yesterday's vlog, in order to plan for Vlogmas, I had to create concepts of what I wanted to do every single day, things that I thought would be interesting to talk about or activities I thought would be interesting to go do. So as I created those concepts, I also started creating a Pinterest board or a mood board in order to bring those concepts together. One thing I know that's really true about myself is I love nostalgia. I love stories. I love people sharing their background, sharing their family history. That kind of stuff just fascinates me. So the starting point for me was, what kind of feeling do I want in terms of the holidays? Because I think when somebody says the holidays or somebody says Christmas, your kind of initial thought is either something really cold, really blue, really striking. I think of like metals, steel, cold weather, outside activities, kind of extreme sports. Like that's one side of the holidays. On the other side is warmth, cozy, nostalgia, yellow, red, orange tones. That's how I think visually about a concept. And some people are in the middle, where they have white, metallic, gold. That's kind of their color palette that they think of. For me personally, I wanted to take the concepts of Vlogmas that I developed and aim them more towards the nostalgic, warm and cozy at, you know, your grandma's house. I think also in this season of life, because I've had so many changes in the last 6 months, the idea of creating content that is predictable and stable and you kind of know what's coming and it's just like a comfort video to watch was really appealing to me. So I have aimed a lot of my content at this nostalgic kind of 70s and 80s Christmas vibe. So I created this mood board that I'll show you here. These are just bits and pieces of it. I pulled a lot of my inspiration from mid-century homes, glamour shots of the 80s. I think a huge part of the holiday season is togetherness and unity and friendship and family and kind of conveying that feeling through a screen. So I want the friendship photos, although they should be candid and in the moment, to feel a little curated. And then I think about things like every Christmas Day morning, I would wake up and we would have cinnamon rolls. So when I'm trying out different recipes and I'm doing baking this Christmas season, I want to be mindful to take pictures that remind me of that feeling when you wake up and you're a child, and if you celebrate with Santa, like Santa came the night before, there's like Christmas magic in the air, you're with your family, you're eating breakfast, kind of those memories. And I think that is something that I wanted to convey, not only for people who actually experienced that, but probably more so for people who didn't. There's something just really beautiful about this time of year where you can kind of create whatever you didn't have as well for the holiday season. You can make your own traditions, you can have your own way of doing things, and I just think that's really a beautiful concept. And so I just want those feelings to come through. I want comfort, I want cozy, I want the pictures to feel like you've been there before, even if you never have. Came up with the concept, came up with visuals. So then there's the actual filming of the content. You can decide to have all of your content be the same. So I really like cinematic, but there were just gonna be some things that wouldn't be as cinematic in nature. Like sitting down today explaining a process is not necessarily going to be the most cinematic experience. But that's kind of also the idea that I come in with, is when I do this video, do I want it to feel informational and like a teaching video? Do I want it to feel like a cinematic masterpiece? Do I want it to feel like they are with me in the experience and we're doing this together in real time? How do I want the viewer to feel is really the main goal of most of my vlogs that I'm creating. And so for this one, because it's more of a teaching video, I just wanted to have my videos be more behind the scenes from when we did the shoot. So I brought these inspiration photos to Zelf, and you might hire a photographer, you might do your own photography. For me, most of the time I'm recording my own fashion videos and putting those up. But when it comes to more of the Vlogmas things, I'm either filming it myself in first person or I'm having other people document my photos for me so that I can focus on video. As I mentioned, the whole concept of planning anything can be a lot when you are a one-woman show. So bringing other people in is really important. I think also this year I've really learned the benefit of that. If you had asked me 6 months ago, I would have said do everything yourself because I was coming out of a corporate environment that was very competitive. But then this summer I worked in an internship that was very group focused and group think, I guess I would say, where people threw out different ideas and we created a concept together. And it wasn't your idea is bad, mine is good. It just was, here's an idea, here's an idea, here's an idea, how can we bring it together? And so I saw the benefit of including other people. And as I've talked with my friend Ani, she's just been such a big part of this process as well. She'll probably get a shout out like every single day, but she was like, why would you not include your friends? Like you have a whole group of people that support you and wanna be on this journey with you in real life. So why would you not include them? And just for the longest time, it was kind of like, well, I wanna get the credit for working hard and I don't wanna have to credit other people. And that's such a messed up way of thinking. So if there's one thing I could save you from the last 6 months of my learning process is it's okay to trust people. Other people can have good ideas and it doesn't have to be a competitive situation. And actually I found that I've had more success when I've taken in the ideas of my friends and added them to my existing ideas, and it's become a stronger concept or a stronger video or a stronger photo shoot because I had different perspectives speaking into it. So for me, Zelf shoots a lot of my content. She did the photos this day. The biggest thing I will say, don't be afraid to go out in public. People will make a comment, people will laugh, people will catcall. I've had all these things happen to me. But it's like when I start to get uncomfortable, I just think about the fact that they just don't understand what I'm doing. They don't understand the importance of it. And if they don't respect it, that's okay. I don't know them. And so many people I think get caught up in like, what if a stranger thinks I'm weird? What if a stranger thinks I'm a loser? Like, who cares what they think? Like at the end of the day, you're the one who had a vision. You're the one who's going out and creating the content for it. So that's like super brave. Why would you care about what random people think? The biggest thing I would say is get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to move around. As you see in these videos, we do a bunch of different poses. I'm not only moving around and doing different things, working with different pieces of my outfit and kind of doing different locations, but then you'll also notice that Zelf she'll stand up, she'll stand on the stairs, she'll kneel down and shoot from below. There's a bunch of different angles that she is shooting from. As we get into indoor photos, she also needs time to figure out lighting. Sometimes we'll just be standing there for a full minute, which lets me get comfortable in the environment as she's just doing test shots. So by the time she has the lighting correct, I'm able to just go forward with it, bring the vision to life. And then you'll also see in the indoor ones that we were doing, we played around a lot with lighting. So I was backlit at first, we put the blinds down, then we tried it with just one point of light coming onto my face. I thought it was too dark and too harsh. So usually I wouldn't want to do indoor lighting like the yellow, kind of hazy, low light. But for this concept, I wanted something, again, a little more warm, indoor, and so the warm light actually worked in our favor and actually lit up my face better than it would have if we had kept the cold kind of outer natural lighting. I would say everything we've talked about up to this point, the creating the concept, the getting the visuals, showing that, confirming a photographer, doing the shoot, that all is more of a mental load in my personal opinion. And then I would say that the after, the post-production, the editing and the posting is more of the nitty-gritty of the process. So for me, it's my least favorite part. I do not like editing photos. I don't like editing video, but I know that I want to bring the concept out in a certain way. And the only way to do that is to not post everything that you recorded or every picture you took. It's to narrow it down and choose the best of the best so that the people who are watching really get the full effect of what you're trying to put out there. And so I know that's important. So there are these moments where I've been editing for 5 hours straight and my eyes are bugging out of my head and I'm going crazy, but I know that I want a vision that I want to cast to people, and that's really what gets me through. For editing, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a very simple gal. I use either CapCut for short form things, I use iMovie for long form. I'm just not at a point where I really wanna buy all these expensive like Creative Cloud type platforms. For photos, I use the Tezza app by Tessa Barton. I really appreciate that she is a business owner, she has a history in photography, and she does content creation for fashion and lifestyle brands. So she kind of has a well-rounded view of what is needed in an app. And although I don't pay the premium price for Tezza, it has all the things that I need personally. And I think that's something I want to do a little differently going into 2024, is invest a little bit more into my equipment, into my editing software, things of that nature, so that I can just continue to up my game. But for now, I have really simple platforms and ways of doing things, and it's worked for me. So all of that to say, if you're just starting out, don't feel like you need to go buy this like $3,000 camera and you have to spend all this money on editing. Things can be really simple and you can still create community by creating really simple vlogs. Something I think should be noted for the editing is you need to have royalty-free music. That is a huge thing, especially for apps like Pinterest and also for YouTube. You can get away with the royalty music a little bit on TikTok and Instagram, but I would say that you really want to focus on royalty-free for your long-form videos, because they will get you on a claim if you use music that does not belong to you. I use artlist.io and I just do the free version of that as well. And I have thousands of options for royalty-free music that work. And then for me, just to be extremely safe, I credit them in my captions. So I'll say royalty-free music from artlist.io and then list the song and the artist underneath, because I just want there to never be an opportunity for somebody to come after me for copyright claiming or for royalty claiming. Another thing that I do in my captions is I always include my socials, because I want to build a community outside of just one social platform. I want people to follow me across the board. And I think that just creates a more well-rounded connection with people who are viewing your content. And then it gets more views on your other platforms, which create other opportunities with brands too if you're building your brand. Another thing I do to simplify the process of captions and for people watching my videos is I do the chapters. So when you go and you post a YouTube video, they'll say, do you want to do automatic chapters? I unclick that, and as I'm watching through, as I'm editing my video, I mark, okay, here's the intro. Here's where I talk about this concept. Here's where I switch to this, and I'll put that in my captions so that you can go and just click, I want to go to 1 minute and 30 seconds so I can see this part of the video. That just makes it easier for the viewer. The final thing I would say is be mindful of search engine optimization, or SEO. You might have heard it called that before. Think about keywords that you want to put into your caption. Think about hashtags you want to use. There's also a thing called tags on YouTube where you can type in keywords that when people look it up, it would connect to your video and bring it up on the list of kind of like responses to their search. Other things, these are just really basic when you're posting on social media platforms that are more short form. You can add a location, you can add music that'll help people find your video or your photos, you can tag people in them. I just really think all of those things are beneficial because they help grow your community, because people might like this creator and you did a video with them and now they're seeing both of you together. So if they like this, they might like your content. Or if people are going to San Francisco and you've tagged San Francisco, I just had this where a guy reached out on Instagram DMs and he said, I saw that you were just in San Francisco and you've been there a few times. Like, what would you recommend for activities to do? And now he and I have created this like direct message communication where it's like, oh wow, just because I tagged San Francisco in this photo, now he and I are having this discussion, and then you like create that relationship online, that parasocial relationship. Also for videos, especially on TikTok or Instagram for Reels, if somebody likes a trend and they want to recreate it, they're going to type in the song and then they're going to find your video, hopefully near the top of that song page. That gets more views on your video. People might save your video as their inspiration when they go to recreate the trend. These are all things to think about just for search engine optimization and getting the most views on your stuff. Okay, so I just talked a lot about the ins and outs of creating content. Seems really heavy, but once you've been creating stuff for a couple months, it's kind of a no-brainer. You just get in the habit of entering all the information in, and as you're editing, doing the chapters, kind of making it easier on yourself. I have notes from my phone connected to my computer, and so when I go to edit the video on my computer, I have a notes in my phone where I do like, this is the songs that I did, this is the chapters that are in the video. I start to create all of that, the caption for it, the whole thing. So it does make it a lot easier, a little more seamless. I have all my socials in this note that I just copy and paste, and then I make it relevant to the specific video that I'm creating at that time. All in all, whether you're just doing something that is a photo shoot, you're doing a brand shoot for an item that you've created, or a campaign that you're doing with a brand, whether you're doing a full vlog or a whole concept like Vlogmas, just have fun with it. The point of creation is not stress. Creation is supposed to be an outlet for us to do something fun, to share stories, to connect, and it shouldn't be something that is stressing you out. I think there are factors of the process that can be more stressful than other factors, but overall it should be super fun to do, and it should be something that you are proud of for other people to see. The other thing I would say, just as a parting word for today, don't worry about every little detail. I'm a perfectionist, and I'm like, if this 0.1 second of time in this video stays in here, like, people are gonna hate the whole thing, and they don't. Sometimes I've done awful editing on a photo that I think is gonna do horrible online in terms of the algorithm, and people love it. Sometimes people just aren't thinking about you like you're thinking about you. People aren't thinking about your content like you're thinking about your content. And there's pros and cons to that, because then you could kind of ease up on the gas a little bit when it comes to making sure everything's perfect. But at the same time, because people take in so much content every day and they have content overload, you should really sit and think about what you want to create so that it does stand out and that people remember it and it's enjoyable for them. Hopefully this information was helpful for you and it's not overwhelming. Going forward, I don't think the next couple days will be very talk heavy videos like the last two were, but I just really wanted to get into the process and answer questions that everybody was asking me. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.